Hello and good evening to another Alex McCarthy's Wrestling Daily right here on Wrestle2. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday night, as I like to call it, Friday Night Insight, because we have one of our favourite news whizzes with us today in Louis Dangoor, the WrestleTalk prodigy. How are you, my friend?
No, I'm really good. Really, really good. Looking forward to next week, obviously, with Christmas, with your sporting your Christmas hat. TLC on Sunday, which actually has some pretty good matches. SmackDown tonight, which has been a great show for a number of weeks. So yeah, thumbs up all round from me. Nothing much to complain about here.
Yeah, that's always a good way to live, Lou. I've actually had my hair cut and I'm still wearing this.
It's a bit sharp, your haircut. I quite like it.
Let me tell you, look, there's a skin fade going on here and all sorts. I'll tell
Check
you what.
it out.
I'm trying to make myself younger than I actually am. No, I need this cut was like supremely overdue. And when I had AJ today, I thought, right, that's it. I need to go. But then like when you've had long hair for a while, and then the hairdresser goes, "Yeah, I'm going to take like this much off." And you go, "Yeah, mate, go on, get it off. Go on, wipe it off." And then he starts taking it off. You're like, "Oh shit!" Like that might be too much.
It's when he's doing it, and he's like, "Oh, we'll take off like that much," and you're like, "Yeah, it's nothing."
You go, "That looks fine."
Yeah, and then he's doing it, and you look at, and they obviously take my glasses off, so I can't see, but I can see rough like shapes, and I'm like, that looks short, but I don't know, is it short? And then you can't tell them it's too short because what can they do? Stick your hair back on?
Yeah, it's done. You got to eat it from then on. So exactly. There you go.
It's like, yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, again, for joining us. You know what I'm going to tell you right now. Ultra chats, get them in. We've already got a couple in the chamber ready for us to get into, but I would love you to give Louis and I some topics to discuss tonight and sink our teeth into. You know what to do. It's WrestleTalk.com/Wrestle2. Hit those lovely opinions over to the even lovelier mods, and they will tell us the good stuff. We will get it on the show. It will be read, and we will debate. You can have that guaranteed. So please do get involved. It's my favourite part of the show. And while you're here, you might as well subscribe to Wrestle2. You might as well. And then you might as well make your way over to Twitter. Like your Ric Flair touring the territories back in the day. Get over to Twitter and like Wrestle2 and follow some of the tremendous people that are in the community here at the Wrestling Daily. Some of my regulars that I love so very dearly because they are, what are they, Louis?
Good eggs.
They are good eggs. They are good eggs. I'm glad you knew it. Yeah, so Sammy Callahan, unfortunately, Uptown Avondale. Although that's a great pun. Sammy Callahan / Almac are gone. Dead. Done.
Dunzo.
Look, the fringe is tight now. There you go. There you go. Get back up there.
No, I'm not going to attempt it. I'm going to save some dignity.
Of which I have none. Right, let's get into some Friday night news. And you can see in the title we're talking about Matt Riddle's contract.
Whose contract?
Riddle's contract. How dare he keep that Christian name? And on the strength of that, it's surprising to me that WWE still continue to let contracts get this close to lapsing. I know it's not like imminent. It's like 8 months away, but still, if you were a football club, bad comparison to make, you wouldn't let someone you thought had a lot of potential get within 8 months of leaving, especially in this climate when AEW and everyone are snapping up talent. Conversely, Matt Riddle is a guy who a few months ago, many people were thinking he might be lucky to have a job. So what a turnaround, Lou.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know in terms of football that you've got that 6 month period. So,
yeah,
like in the Premier League, say you got a Premier League club, right? Like Liverpool player, if he wants to leave, he's got like in January. If his contract expires in June, he can talk to foreign clubs in January. I'm not sure with wrestling when that period is, like when you can talk to other companies. So if 3 months is still fine, then it's fine. I mean, this is 8 months. So Riddle's contract is up in August 2021. And Dave Meltzer is reporting on the latest Wrestling Observer Radio that he's in the process of renegotiating a new deal with WWE. The deal was reportedly going to be for $400,000 per year, with $50,000 for every Saudi Arabia show. The details have not been confirmed. The deal's not been confirmed, but it's very much expected that he's going to stay. And it doesn't surprise me that WWE is willing to offer him a deal like this. They've been booking him really well recently. For my money, I know it's been a bit divisive, but I think it's working well. He's getting over in what he's doing with the backstage segments. He's in a feud with Hurt Business, preparing to face Bobby Lashley, who we've said on the show before is one of probably the most protected wrestlers in WWE right now. And I'm enjoying the work he's doing. So, I'm obviously hoping to see Riddle in WWE for some more time. How about you? Are you excited to see him pen a new contract?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said this before. A year or 18 months ago, I thought that Riddle, I was about to say Matt Riddle again, Riddle and Velveteen Dream, to me, had the most upside of anyone in the whole company in terms of, and Bianca Belair. Those three to me were like, in terms of potential and to become superstars, like at the top, at the highest level, I had them all in there. You know, Bianca Belair still there, right? But Velveteen Dream and Riddle, of course, have made their own problems over the past few months, and that has made it hard to kind of invest and get excited about them. You know, Velveteen Dream is, I don't worse. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? It's like to me, it's
difficult.
It's a difficult one to talk about and navigate. But I feel totally detached from him. If we're just talking about Riddle's work and what he's been doing on Raw, and some people are like, oh, you know, they're putting him into a comedy spot, which is never great. Blah blah blah. I think it's all right. He's getting time. And his personality is showing, and he is, like anyone who's ever interviewed him, like I have a couple of times, he's extremely affable, likable, funny. He's got a lot of charisma, and it's showing on TV, and I don't think that hurts him at all.
I think a lot of people are saying, oh, WWE's making him say like these weird bits. For me, and I've never interviewed him, but from what I understand of him, I think I've actually spoken to him in passing once, but it wasn't it was a Progress show. It wasn't an interview. I think he's probably very much like how he's acting on TV at the moment. I think that's probably very much him. I don't think he's probably been given a lot of like, oh, say this, say that scripted verbiage. Listen, it's people are going to have their issues with it, and understandably so, with what's gone on over the last year. But in terms of his in-ring work and his he's had two great matches with Sheamus over the past couple of weeks, probably two of the best WWE TV matches in some time. Cool. His feud with you disagree?
Well, AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan have got something to say about that.
Okay, so when I said sometime, I meant sort of the Thunderdome
recent memory. Okay,
yeah, recent memory. That is one of my favorite matches of the year, AJ and Daniel Bryan. So I can't disagree with that. But yeah, I'm enjoying the work he's doing at the moment, and I think a feud with Bobby Lashley, which I guess we'll get into talking about now. Dave Meltzer is also reporting that the plan is for Riddle to face Bobby Lashley at the Royal Rumble in a United States Championship match, which I think could be fantastic. Like a really nice style if they play it in a way that suits like both former MMA background. I think could be really cool. And I wouldn't actually be that surprised to see Riddle maybe win the US title there.
Well, I mean, Bobby Lashley is as protected as anyone in WWE at the moment. But if they do play into Riddle and the serious side that he's got and his obviously legitimate background, plausibly, he could beat him in a WWE world. I mean, like UFC world, I think Riddle was a middleweight, and obviously Lashley is a bulky heavyweight. That's unlikely in a real life scenario, but still in WWE it's feasible. So yeah, I would like to see that and see how that pans out. As far as the actual report goes in terms of the money and things of that nature, and the 50 grand for Saudi Arabia shows and whatnot, I don't know the specifics, to be honest. I don't. I've heard obviously some people's contracts. I remember hearing the details of Edge's deal when he returned and reporting them. In fact, I couldn't comment because I haven't dug into that. But I would have thought they got paid a. I wouldn't have thought. I wouldn't have thought the Saudi Arabia shows were a flat rate. But maybe they are because they're kind of predetermined how much Saudi Arabia are paying for them. So
do you know how a report came out? It was actually from the Mirror. That someone I've actually spoke to a few people, and it's not too far off the truth. Jinder Mahal's on 900,000 a year, apparently.
You probably signed that contract at exactly the right time, and you know when that was.
I mean, wow.
But also,
wow.
A lot of people were getting bumps, as we know, when the Fox money and the Saudi Arabia money came in. They were paying Mike Kanellis like $500K a year. That's mental. He was doing nothing, and there's nothing against Mike Bennett Kanellis. Nothing against him, or not saying that he's not worth money, but for what he was doing in that company, that is mental.
Yeah, for how he was being used, it's crazy. Like they weren't doing anything with him, and they were paying him like $500,000 a year, which is crazy. And I think they were paying Maria the same, or very close to that. So that's $1 million a year for doing nothing, which is crazy.
For doing a couple of cuckold angles on Raw.
And that's not us saying that they're not worth that money, because if they were booked properly, they would more than be worth that money. But it's how they were being used didn't warrant that sort of payment, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, listen,
Alex Smith says, but Jinder does bring in a big crowd from India. He sure does, Alex, until you take Triple H over there and beat him. Don't worry about that. As champion, he was beaten as well. I just want to let you.
I think he dropped the title by then.
Had he? I don't know. I
think the tour was in the December, and he dropped the title a few months before.
Was it in December? I thought it was summer. That's my mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, Canadian Jinder Mahal, indeed, is a big
draw.
Of
Indian descent,
of course. But nonetheless, Triple H will go over there and beat you. He will. Don't think he won't. Let's keep it moving here. Let's see if there are some ultra chats for us to get to. And I know that there are. And there's some WWE ones here. Mike Jensen is the first out of the traps today. Hey, Mike.
It's not Matthew.
He is there, but he's not first. I'm only, I'm going with what the mod mother says, right? Mike Jensen. Thank you for joining us on this Friday, my friend. Hope you are well today, he says. Since SmackDown is on FS1 tonight, do you see any more reactions from Vince if their ratings tonight are worse than AEW? Is it comparable since they're both on cable this week? Well, I mean, I don't think it's ever directly comparable if it's not on the same night. There's lots of variables in what other sport is going on, what other TV shows are going on. Friday nights, I know not now because we're entering tier 3. But in America, traditionally, of course, there's a lot of things you might want to do on a Friday night apart from sitting and watch wrestling. So I don't know if it's directly comparable, but when SmackDown have been on FS1 in the past, they have done a lower number. So WWE will be bracing themselves for that. I did see something a minute ago, and I just tweeted it. The Rock is going to be on Talking Smack tonight. Kinda is the way I put that. I believe it's a pre-recorded interview with Fox that they are then putting on to Talking Smack. Still intriguing that they're doing that, though, because the co-host of that show is who, Louis?
Paul Heyman.
Exactly.
Paul Heyman.
You see where I'm going.
I had a brain fart there.
It was Scott Steiner-esque, that was, Louis. Now, you see where I'm going with this, right? The Rock is having this pre-recorded interview. Presumably, Fox might ask him something about Roman Reigns, and then Paul Heyman might have something to say. So just when we thought The Rock might be out of the picture,
Alex.
But listen, there's reasons they do these things, Lou.
I'm sorry, bud. Listen, I don't want you to get your hopes up. We're getting Goldberg.
Yeah, I know we're getting Goldberg. I know that. I actually had a source tell me directly yesterday. I nearly ran it today. That it is Goldberg. So I know that there was a short list. Even Louis reported last week. As far as I know, it is Goldberg. So but still, my curiosity is piqued. I imagine that there's a reason that they've lined it up the way they have, and Heyman will have something to say, and it should be very good. it might be one of those things that they just plant the seeds, and it's not for this Mania, it's for whatever. But either way, very interesting. I will. I mean, I watch Talking Smack anyway because it's bloody great. But I will catch it, especially for the great one, my man. Let's move on to Matthew.
I was just going to say very quickly. So AEW got 806,000 viewers on Wednesday. When WWE moves SmackDown over to Fox, or sort of is forced to move, it's not really a choice on them. They normally get around 880,000. I think first year was 888, second thousand was 880. So it probably will be slightly more, maybe around that same figure. But what I heard around the time, and I think it was even reported by Dave Meltzer, around the time of the World Series, so around the time that WWE had to move SmackDown over to Fox, to FS1 from Fox this year, that they don't take too much stock into this week's ratings. I mean, it's a show that it's been moved off its usual platform. FS1 is considerably smaller than Fox. So I don't think that there'll be too many reactionary changes from this one. But in terms of reactionary changes following Raw, I think that is going to be more alarming to WWE than a potential FS1 drop-off.
Yeah. As far as how Raw, WWE are reacting to Raw, I actually did hear something of how USA have reacted to those ratings and what they want to see from WWE, and that is a report I'll be putting out shortly. So I should be sharing that with people tomorrow. I wrote it today, but it didn't end up going out because I was waiting for some final comments from different people. Remember, you don't just go on one source. So I will drop that tomorrow, I believe. Anyway, so I think, Louis hit the nail on the head there. WWE last time knew there was going to be a drop-off. And, they expect it this time as well. It's just part and parcel of moving on to a smaller station. So I don't think they're going to treat it like direct competition. But at the same time, SmackDown is more than holding its own in the last few months. And that will happen when you've got a hot Roman Reigns and Sasha Banks on the show. That will happen. So we'll see how things move and progress past TLC. CM Chris says, so Alex is wearing the hat as he didn't get the haircut like he was supposed to. What is this hubris? What is this hubris you're talking about? Look, there it is.
Fresh.
It's sharp.
Very fresh.
Come on, CM Chris. Appreciate the hair, brother. I'm just trying to be festive.
Very sharp. I mean, I do understand what he means in terms of people having putting on hats to hide the haircut. You saw a lot of that during lockdown. People were wearing hats to hide awful haircuts. But
my hair has been pretty inexcusable lately, and I have been doing my best to hide it. So I forgive you, CM Chris. I forgive you for that accusation, for want of a better term. Let's, as I was about to do, Lou, let's pivot to the next Ultra Chat that Matthew McCarthy has dropped in, and if he doesn't say bang brains in here, I'm going to be upset. I don't think he has. Feeling generous, he says. One of two today. Something I'd love to see. It's the Rumble. The person's music hits. Crowd is chanting, Joe, 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 Joe. And Samoa Joe has returned. Samoan versus Samoan. The promos would absolutely kill. Cena and Roman also. Joe could put Roman hella over. Yeah, I think I've said this before. I think Samoa Joe and Roman as characters have amazing chemistry. In the ring, they had some so-so matches, didn't they? Let's be honest. But obviously the dynamic has changed now, where Roman's the heel, and badass babyface Samoa Joe I can get behind. So maybe that would work. And you play in the Samoan storyline on top of that, where which is obviously an extra layer. So I'd be cool with it. I want to see Samoa Joe back more than anything else. So I just either way, I would be cool with that, but I'm not certain of your scenario because Roman won't be in the Rumble. So you mean Samoa Joe win the Rumble? I assume is what you mean, and in which case, yes, I'm also okay with that.
I mean, it's better than Goldberg, put it that way. But yeah, Samoa Joe hasn't been on TV. His last match was February 10th. So it's been a while.
He's been on TV, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, been on TV. Sorry. Yeah, not in a wrestling capacity.
Yes.
For a long while, which is obviously unfortunate. I don't even think it's quite close guarded in terms of what's going on. I think probably because Joe's quite old school, so he's probably not going to tell anyone anything.
No.
So it's not a lot of people have reported anything about him. It's very unclear what his status is. Obviously, I hope, and I'm sure you share in these assessments, everything is all right with him. He's happy and he's healthy. But I mean, Joe is one of the best promos in WWE. I'd probably put him up there in top 2 or 3. The promo battles between him and Roman have been insane. Obviously, Joe is one of the only Samoans to wrestle for WWE that isn't part of the NOI family, so that could be a cool avenue to take. Maybe sort of a SummerSlam feud could be really cool between those two. The babyface and heel dynamic switch. Yeah, I'd definitely be interested in seeing it. I'd just be interested in seeing Samoa Joe do anything, really. I mean, a heel Samoa Joe against Drew McIntyre could be really cool. Anything really involving Samoa Joe could be a babyface against Sami Zayn in the IC title picture. Anything with Samoa Joe, I'm really interested in. So,
I want to see that man get his due, Louis. I want to see him get that world title run. I want to see it. Just give him one, man.
And he's more than earned it. He's like, compared to some of the people that have been WWE champion, like, I'm not going to mention names, but
his name.
Everyone knew what I was going to say. He has more than earned it through years of hard work, through years of being part of some of the best matches in Ring of Honor, TNA, Impact, even NXT. He's more than earned it. So obviously, hoping to see him back fit and healthy in 2021.
Oh, Wendy! I think he will. He's found his calling, like in terms of a job for life in WWE. Because as far as I'm aware, everyone loves him on commentary backstage. Vince is a fan. I think obviously you don't need me to tell you I'm a massive fan of Joe on commentary. I think him and Tom, the way he calls Tom everything that he does, is a great pairing as well. So yeah, I'd love to see him back in the ring. And he did say on Taylor Wilde's podcast, the ex Impact Knockouts champ, that he is looking to get back, right? It's just a case of getting cleared and finding the spot and the right moment to do so. It could be the Rumble, but I would presume that his injury problems have cleared up, because I believe that he had a concussion following the advert that he'd done for WWE, where he'd banged his head, and he's had a few other niggling issues, but he's been out a while now, as Louis says, hasn't been in the ring. So yeah, let's all just hope and pray Samoa Joe comes back and does his thing once again. Bo Hill! Hey, man. WWE promising reactionary changes. Any thoughts on what the new terrible ideas we might see? Oh, God, I don't know. Juggling.
I've got a fear. I've got a big fear.
Go on.
I think AJ's winning the title on Sunday. They like to pin it on the world champion. Unfortunately.
Why would that be a big fear?
Oh, because I just don't want to see Drew drop the title so soon. Nothing.
Nor do I. But
nothing against AJ. It wouldn't be the worst thing. But if Drew hadn't dropped the title to Randy at Hell in a Cell, I'd be like, you know what? Maybe AJ is the person to win the title off him. But doing it the next 2 pay-per-views after he lost it, not ideal. I really like Drew. I really like AJ. I think they're both great. I just don't know whether it's the right time to do it. But I do think that could be a reactionary change, because WWE, unfortunately, has a history of pinning ratings on the world champion and being all right, the world champion isn't the draw. So I hope that isn't the case, because Drew, Drew isn't the problem here. The problem here is crappy writing.
I mean, for the record, and I'm not saying you're saying this. I know you're just going off history. I've heard nothing to say anything negative about Drew. From what I understand, everyone's delighted with how he's come on this year.
Yeah. I even reported that WWE, everyone in WWE loves him. Everyone in WWE thinks he's done the media he's done. Everything he's done is fantastic. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything. It's more just something I could see WWE doing. Vince going the ratings are low. Put the title on AJ to get to give you a reason to tune in on Monday.
Yeah, as if AJ's. I don't know. Anyway, what I will say that is going against that argument would be, when they say the champion draws, well, that would also mean house shows. There've been none of those this year for the last 9 months. It's very hard to gauge other than the Raw rating, which can't solely be put down to Drew McIntyre, because if you actually look back the last 4 or 5 years now, the trend is like that. Like it's got nothing to do with who's the champion at what time. It's the product, unfortunately. So there you have it.
Not like Drew is like the issue here.
No one is
going at 7 p.m. on a Sunday. I can't be bothered to watch Raw because Drew's champion. That is not why people aren't watching Raw. They're going, I can't be bothered to watch a 3-hour show with crappy Miz and Morrison comedy, Lana stuff that doesn't make sense, Keith Lee losing. Like, that's why people aren't watching Raw, because the product is, quite frankly, shite.
Adam Pearson says, I remember when Joe turned up in NXT, I marked out so much, I startled the dog and she pooped. Wow. I mean, Adam, I need to see this kind of energy. That must have been some real vigorous stuff. Do you know what? I actually bring this up to say this. I am going to view a dog tomorrow. There's a fact for you. After my remarks the other day, my missus has been pressuring me ridiculously to go. In fact, she's kind of manipulated me into it. If truth be told, she really has. Not that I'm that mad at it, because I do want a dog. But yeah, we're going to go look at it tomorrow. We're taking the girls. So I've pretty much resigned myself to the fact that I'm buying this dog, because
you cannot say, I know you, and you'll turn into a little softie when you see this dog with your girls.
I mean, yeah, even without the girls, probably. But them being added to it, I'm pretty much a grand down, aren't I? So there you have it. Let's get on to the other bit of news that was in the headline, right? So it's not a guy I particularly relish talking about, but Lars Sullivan has been making the news because he's not been at the shows recently, and he wasn't a part of the big man back to the PC training schedule that Vince McMahon put together. So where is he, is what people are asking, Louis.
So he's just so good at his job that WWE thinks he's damaging Roman Reigns, obviously in jest. Dave Meltzer has said in the Wrestling Observer Radio that Lars Sullivan... so basically, WWE is thinking that Sullivan was taken off SmackDown. Their reason behind it was so they don't have two top heels they're trying to push in the moment in the form of Roman Reigns and Sullivan. Which is why he was taken off TV. Some speculated it was because of the some of the comments he made that had emerged on social media, some of the things that have come out about him over the last, how long has it been? A year now?
That stuff just keeps coming out.
Yeah. So I think it was like the day, like he returned on the Friday, and on the Sunday night, I remember this. It was about 1 a.m. and none of us were working, and something else came up on Twitter. So we were all having, oh God, what time? So we all put it on the website. But no, obviously, I think a lot of people suggested it was that. I mean, based on the fact Jackson Riker returned on Raw this week, I didn't think that was the reason. But yeah, that's the reason. Thankfully, WWE chose Roman over Lars, because that's a good sign.
Because that's a choice, right?
I mean, listen, I even if I don't agree with the reason why, the fact that we aren't seeing him on TV, like I wasn't enjoying seeing him on TV. So the fact we aren't works fine for me. But I think Ringside News even have reported that Sullivan, and I know, listen, a lot of people muddy Ringside News, and rightly so, because they have had some shockers over the years. But we can't take away from the fact that over the last couple of months, they have been on the money with a lot of their backstage reports. I know they reported, one of them, just off the top of my head, that Becky Lynch was at SmackDown backstage with you, which you then corroborated. And they reported that Lars Sullivan had, begrudgingly, but had to. They even reported that Lars Sullivan hasn't been attending SmackDown tapings at all over the last couple of weeks. So looks like there's a conscious effort to keep him off TV. It isn't like a week-by-week thing where they bring him and then they decide we're not going to use you.
Let me just interject quickly here. Have you noticed my new format for interrupting? Just there you go, Lou. Yeah, like we're back in school. Ringside News are terrible people. They're dreadful. The meme that they put up of Sonya Deville and the Home Invader, I thought was fucking dreadful. And I'll pull no punches there. That's just terrible, awful human beings who would make light of something so terrifying. If you've actually read what happened to Sonia and Mandy that night, it's not a joke at all. So yeah, fuck them in that degree. But also, Louis right. When the people are right, when they're accurate. Cool. I'll give them their props. They have got some stuff backstage right recently, but I'm never going to like them because I just think the people running there are pretty disingenuous and terrible. There you go.
You're more than entitled to that opinion, and it's not one I disagree with in the slightest. But yeah, it has made it hard because they are breaking a lot of stories at the moment. So you don't want to credit them, but you've got to because of sort of media integrity. And you and I,
I'll never be petty if they get something right. Then like I said with the Becky thing, I'm more I support good work and whatnot. I just don't. They're just not good people. Yeah, simply there's a difference.
No, I do agree with that. So yeah, in terms of this story, I can 100% see it. Vince is probably like, all right, I can push one top heel, and that's Roman. And based on how Roman is probably the top character in wrestling right now, along with Kenny Omega, right choice. Happy to see it.
Yeah, imagine that it was a choice. I'm imagining them sitting around the table going, with these Lars vignettes, they're really taking off because those interviews were absolutely horrendous that Lars Sullivan did. Yeah, I was on the playground and they were making fun of me. Like, come on, Lars, bruv. I think that they thought it was going to be like the Mick Foley, interviews that he did with JR back in the day, where people got on side of Lars Sullivan. No, terrible, awful delivery, awful content. Really was. But regardless of that, I'm not fussed. I feel like I'm on a real negative streak here. I'm not fussed if I see him again. But I like to think that people can grow and get better. So I'd like to give him every chance and hope that he's going to improve, because after that first lot of accusations, then I think it was a personal trainer or a nutritionist or something like that. Yeah, something like that. It was like a trainer of some sort, and then he sent her really provocative stuff as well. We just like, come on, man. Anyway, he'll learn. I hope he learns. There you go. That's all I've really got to say on the freak show right there. Anyway, let's talk about TLC this Sunday, Lou. We've got some, we do have some Ultra Chats to get back to, but this is a good juncture halfway through to ask you guys to give us some more. We would love to dive into some stuff. I've already ranted about Goldberg on Twitter today, so I don't know if you need me to do it again here. I hope not. But if you pay for it, it can happen. Anything you guys want to discuss or want to get into, let's do it. Until then, I think we should get into the TLC card, which for my money, Lou, the top end of it is fairly predictable, but not to the point where I'm like, I don't want to see it. I'm still really excited to see the top matches on that card.
Yeah, me too. I think I even said we had a discussion. Probably you shut me down at some point a couple of episodes ago, where I said I was really excited for it. It was a hot show. The top two world title matches are fantastic. Will be genuinely brilliant. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton in the Firefly Inferno match, which could be interesting. Maybe it's cinematic, which could be quite cool. Fire sort of is been a key component of their story, so it's not like a gimmick for a gimmick's sake. It makes sense. Carmella and Sasha Banks actually had a very, very good match until the DQ part of it.
There you go. There's that hand up again. Just while you mentioned the Fiend and Randy Orton, I just wanted to interject and say that Alexa Bliss has addressed why she's been off TV recently. For anybody watching this show right now that doesn't know, she'd actually already booked off holiday way in advance. Earlier this year, she'd already gotten a couple of weeks away from WWE. I believe she's away of her fiance, if Instagram is anything to go by. So yeah, that's why Alexa Bliss is not part of the story at the moment. It's just because it was something that was already sorted out a long time ago. I'm pretty shocked that WWE actually stood by their word and let her have a holiday, because normally that's like forbidden if you listen to a JR podcast, that is. But fair play to her. Anyway, continue, Louis.
Yeah, so Carmella and Sasha Banks had a great back and forth on SmackDown, so that could be cool. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Asuka and TBSF. That was TBD / Charlotte Flair, because it's definitely going to be Charlotte Flair. That's just speculation on my part. New Day and Hurt Business really good. If I had any complaints about their matches on Raw, it would be that they were hurt by commercial breaks. So not seeing that on pay-per-view could be cool. And it's a 6-match card, which is thumbs up from me. Probably a few more matches added, maybe on SmackDown tonight, Sami Zayn and Big E, or maybe some random thing on the pre-show that makes no sense, but they're just going to put in there like Liv Morgan versus Billy Kay. Maybe. Who knows?
I'd watch it.
Well, it's our job. We haven't got a choice. But no, I'm actually really excited for the pay-per-view. I think it'll be really good fun. It's probably a very good show to end the year. Top matches are going to be great. We'll probably open with one of the TLC matches and close with the other. Great stuff. Great. I'm looking forward to it. Should we do some predictions now?
Yeah, let me just give some brief thoughts on that card too. Like I said, the top 2 matches that, okay, so you got AJ Styles challenging Drew McIntyre. It's a never seen before match for one. So that's exciting in prospect. I think Omos and how he factors into this is going to be super interesting. He's very, very green. So, it's very difficult to say how much he can or can't do, or you would want him to do to, ruin any kind of illusions that you want to keep. But I do think Drew finishes the year as champion. So AJ is just a great rival to give to him right now. And AJ's the kind of guy who can lose and it won't matter. I also think when you put Roman Reigns with Kevin Owens, that's another kind of masterstroke of like, let's give him a good opponent to get Roman to the next place. Kevin Owens is a guy who can get red hot like that in any role, and it can make the feud interesting. It's going to be great. Like, those are 2 world title matches that I'm bang up for. The women's tag, Uptown Avondale says, look at the poker face on Alex. He knows it's Charlotte, but he won't give it away. I couldn't possibly say Uptown. I couldn't. But you'll have to tune in on Sunday. I have told Louis and SB3 what I've heard. We will reveal the screenshots next week, only if I'm right. Otherwise, it's going to be like it never happened. So yeah, I'm interested though. Like, from what I've heard for this match and what it would mean moving forward, I'm very interested. So the more the better on that one. And yeah, again, Louis just said it. Moving up and down the card, there's some decent stuff to be had pretty much in every match. So I am excited for TLC. I love a good gimmick match as much as I hate how gimmick pay-per-views are just slotted in around the calendar year. That is some stupid rubbish that they do that. It ruins the organic nature of feuds. I wish it was more like early 2000s where you could get anything at any time. And then I hate it. I hate it. The way they do TLC and Hell in a Cell, the way they do it. It's a bugbear of mine. Having said that, I am looking forward to Sunday. So, Lou, do you want to get and run through the card and we'll make some predictions?
Let's do it. So we'll probably work back to front from what I see here on Wikipedia.
That kind of bloke,
yeah.
You dirty dog.
Moving on. So New Day versus Hurt Business for the Raw Tag Team Championship.
Hurt Business.
I'm just thinking, what other teams are there like to feud with coming out of it? And I can't think of any.
Oh, yeah, that's the same for both teams, isn't it?
It's like, all right. So are there like more heel teams they could feud with? Like, what other teams have been picking up wins on WWE TV?
You could get into Sheamus and Drew. I don't know if they're going to do that, but you could put them in the picture briefly, a bit like they did with Jericho and Rock all them years ago, and Michael Cena, and they've done it with a ton of guys. You could do that. I just think the Hurt Business, because for me, out of everything going on here, Cedric Alexander is the one whose stock has risen the most. He's on the ascendancy, and I feel like the Hurt Business, no pun intended, obviously it hurts them eventually to have all these shots. You've got to give it to them at some point, and it won't hurt the New Day. What are they? 8-time champs? More? What is it? It is 8, isn't it? Like maybe more. Anyway. They've won the title so many times, it don't matter. I think the Hurt Business are due a run. And it's a pretty good time to give it to him.
Yeah, you've convinced me. You've turned me around on that. So I'm also gonna go for the Hurt Business. Sasha Banks and Carmella.
Banks.
Yeah.
I do think the reason I took the inhale is not because I doubt Banks. It's just poor Carmella. Like I think if you get, it's going to be some crappy finish, which is I'm dreading already, because in WWE's weird mind, they're going to be like, well, we need to protect Carmella because she's just come back repackaged and reinvigorated and whatever. And if she loses, then it just kills the momentum dead pretty much. But at the same time, Sasha Banks needs to keep defending and going strong. WWE love to put themselves in these positions. They love it. So I don't think it's a wise idea to re-debut a character and have them go after a champion you're not going to dethrone anytime soon. So for me, I do think Banks wins, but I would suspect there's going to be a dodgy finish.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate for a moment here. You know, I love doing that. So Brody Lee came into AEW, had 5 matches, the majority of them nothing matches, really. And then he faced Jon Moxley and lost in his first world title match. I don't think that hurt Brody Lee at all. It was a great match. I think it can be done where someone comes in, has a great match, and gets over in defeat. And I think you could do this with Sasha Banks and Carmella. I think Carmella could take Banks right to the level and have Banks retain. I don't think there is anything wrong with booking the match. I just think WWE doesn't do that finish enough and will more than likely do a crappy, like her wine waiter or Somalia, I think it's called, might accidentally cost her or something, and then she'll berate him or smash a bottle over his head or something like that. I could see that happening. Also, maybe Bianca Belair and Bayley could get involved, setting up a 4-way for Rumble. That could be cool. But we'll see. I do think that Sasha Banks walks out as champion, though.
Not often you get a multi-person, particularly over a triple threat at the Rumble, just because the people in the question are normally in the Rumble.
Very true. Especially if a lot of people are saying Belair might win. Maybe, but I mean, we've seen people be in matches, especially like the opening match. If it's the opening match on a card, they can still then go later on and be part of another match. So it's not the end of the world, but I do understand what you mean. Yeah.
Upton Avondale says, as long as Louis agrees with Alex likes him. Ron will be a connection for sure. Upton Avondale, that's pretty much the rule for anyone. It's not just Louis. That's just the way of life, I'm afraid. Let's keep it moving, Louis. Where else are we on the card?
So now we are at Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Asuka and blank.
Old Baszler. Let me just. I'm not going to say too much in this match, but how can I say it? I'm just going to say Asuka and her partner are going to win. That's it.
I'm going to say the same thing. Asuka and her partner are going to win. I'll stop you digging there and move on. Next, we've got Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton in the Firefly Inferno match. I'm going to go for Bray Wyatt because it seems like his sort of gimmick, like a Firefly thing. I don't see him losing in one of those. And yeah, I think that could be another very good match if it's done cinematically. Yeah,
I think you're probably right as well. Like, it lends itself to Bray Wyatt and The Fiend, and of course what happened on Raw. Also, I was talking about this the other day with Simon Miller. It's like, shouldn't this whole feud be designed for Bray Wyatt and The Fiend to win? Like, not only is he the babyface, Randy Orton burnt down his house.
Yeah.
But for want of a better term, his house, Randy Orton, to the ground, right? And then they so this is obviously that they had already tagged together and stuff. Randy screwed him over. And then Randy took his world title at WrestleMania. Randy has got everything out of Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt has got nothing out of this feud historically. So really, this should be like the ultimate redemption for The Fiend, for Bray Wyatt. I think it's the first chapter of their story, which leads me to think, maybe it will be Orton and it carries on. but I don't know. I would root to go against the Fiend because I do think WWE have probably learned their lesson a little bit and thinking, are we going to book the Fiend to take too many losses? But then Alexa Bliss isn't there, so there's a way around it as well if they want it to be. It's a lot going on. But I'm interested to see how it goes. If I have to make one pick, Fiend.
Me too. And guys, get all of your for the Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Asuka, and blank match. Write in the comments who you think the blank will be, and after we've done the predictions, we'll go through a few of them and have a look. I'm already seeing a few in, but let us know who you think blank will be, and we'll have a look through. But moving up the card, we've now got Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles. Which do you think will main event, or do you think it will be Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns? And what result have you got coming out of this one?
Roman will main event. I think that's a no-brainer. WWE love him, and it's going to be both champions retaining. I know I've elaborated on this a little bit when we were running down the card in the first instance. I mean, Roman isn't dropping a title anytime soon. He's really not. I mean, he probably won't even drop it at Mania. And for Drew, I think what you said earlier is true as well. He's only just won it back. I don't think there's a need to then hotshot it to AJ Styles as well, unless they had some overarching plans for AJ Styles. Now, I will give people a little snippet, a tiny, tiny snippet of my interview with AJ today. That is going to be dropping over the weekend. Now, I told Louis a lot before we came on air, and it is, I would say, my best interview this year. AJ Styles was in the mood to talk.
And I mean, I know Alex will be wanting to promote this interview, but from what he told me was said, it looks like I'm going to have a field day going through it and getting news stories out of it. So it looks like there was a lot coming out of this. So I think when he obviously drops that on Twitter, which you can follow him. No, that way.
There it is. Bum, bum.
Exactly. Over there. You follow him on Twitter. So when he drops that, you can check it out. But go on. Give us a little tease.
It'll be on. I'll be on Talksport.com over the weekend and into next week. But AJ was saying, I said, if you win the title Sunday or whatever, and you move on to WrestleMania, who do you want? And his first answer was Edge. And I was thinking, I don't think you're going to get that just because of Randy Orton. But then, you'd imagine AJ might know who he's going to face by now. But then he told me, and you might be surprised, that he's been picking up the phone to try and get Triple H. Triple H is who AJ Styles would like if he can't get Edge. He says he's been calling Triple H the same way he called The Undertaker and convinced him to face him. So it's very good. The explanation he gives as to why he wants these matches and stuff are very, very good. And I will drop them in the next couple of days. But very interesting that he would want those two guys. So we'll have to see. I could buy Triple H and AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I could buy it. Yeah,
me too. But so I think we're both going for AJ Styles. For Drew McIntyre.
Also,
and Roman.
I know we always bring up bloody Uptown Avondale. I don't know how I come to you so much. Edge did wreck his shoulder. Yes, he did at the Royal Rumble. Although AJ Styles has admitted that was actually his fault in terms of.
He's tried to make it look good with like a big bum, elaborate, but I mean, it wasn't the world. Look, going through the comments, looking at people what they've said for the match for the Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Asuka, and blank match. We've got it's Charlotte from Matthew Makovsky. Bo Hill says Asuka's going to win them solo. Adam Pearson, good friend of the show, has said Lana is going to be Lana's replacement, which I could see happening. Or Kyrie Sane, which would be cool.
My heart wants Kyrie. It really does. I mean, it's not, but my heart does want it.
Yeah, Asuka and a partner, Chelsea Green from the Rev Heads.
Wow, the fastest healing wrist of all time.
That would be impressive, but I don't think based on science.
Even John Cena couldn't make it back, I don't think.
Next, we've got it's Io Shirai. That could be cool. I don't think we'll see it from, again, Adam Pearson. Alex, is it Tessa? He won't. Obviously, Alex won't say if it is or it isn't, but interesting choice.
Possible.
Could be. What else have we got here? Io Shirai. Lana from Michael Cole. The Michael Cole?
The Michael Cole, yes.
Mercedes Martinez from Adam Southfield. That could be cool.
Wow, yeah.
Mandy Rose. The Rock.
I hope so. That's what they's on Talking Smack tonight to set it up, I'm sure.
If it's Eva Marie, then I quit wrestling.
Yeah.
Asuka and Becky's baby.
Oh, Matthew Ledesma.
Asuka and Vince. Asuka's mystery partner is going to be Santini Marella.
Santina.
Asuka and Ripley. Asuka and Mop.
Hang on. Moppy died. Didn't Moppy get thrown in a what's the thing? The wood chipper.
It could come back to her. It could come back to her.
Yeah.
It's Stephanie McMahon. She created women's wrestling. Could be Melina or Lana or even Marie. The mystery partner is The Undertaker. See, there are a lot of good options here. Mystery partner, I don't care who it is. Not Mandy or Dana or Lana. Stephanie. But yeah, there are some funny options here. Can you give away if the option has been mentioned? Can you go that far?
I'd rather keep people guessing.
Keep people guessing. Okay. Fair enough. Oh, this is an interesting shout from Matthew McCoskey. It's going to be a shock all. Asuka and Shayna are surprising us all. They're going to team up and face Nia like a Ted DiBiase, Cody Rhodes, and Bob Holly.
Yeah. Randy Orton. They what'd you say? He said this yesterday on the show. He actually ultra chatted it, I believe. And yeah, it was very good. We said at the time, love that idea. I would love to see that play out. Yeah, exactly that. Oscar and Shayna, man, if that's how you get me there, then absolutely take me there. While we're on Matthew McCoskey, let's go to the ultra chats, Lou, to get to the dying embers of the show. And Matthew McCoskey has a hot take for us, and he says, fantasy booking day. Oh dear. Draft 8 men, 8 women, 4 tag teams. The catch is Alex can pick from Raw and NXT. Louis can pick from SmackDown and AEW only. How does Louis get those 2?
Let's do it. Let's go.
What a short end of the stick have you given me here? Next week, I might make a tournament. Also, Louis, can you make Bang Brains match? What? Also, Louis can make a Bang Brains match if he picks correctly. Enjoy this.
From AEW and SmackDown, there's a lot of Bang Brains matches options.
Sure, there are.
So go on then.
That's the thing.
Let's do it. Let's do this. So we'll take 2 minutes. 30 seconds, however long. Okay. This is very easy.
Right.
I've won.
I'm basically just gonna.
I'm telling you, I've won.
My 8 women. I'm gonna try and write this on my phone so I can remember. I'm gonna have Charlotte Flair. She's on Raw, right? Oscar, Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm. How many have I got?
It's your fault for not keeping count.
Oh God! Charlotte, Io, and Rhea, and Oscar. Oh, I'd have Shayna Baszler as well, actually. Surprise, surprise. Nia Jax has not made the cut. Tony as well. I'm going to take Casey Catanzaro. I don't care what anyone says. I don't even care. She's amazing. God, I don't even know who's on Raw. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 6 women.
I've won. I'm just telling you might as well quit.
I probably should. My women's division will beat yours, though.
But yeah, probably. Yeah, definitely.
That's it though. That is my only hope.
So I mean, my men's division, right? Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, John Moxley, and Chris.
Hang on, wasn't it you that once upon a time made the shout that Raw was deeper than SmackDown? It was. And now look how the shoe's on the other foot, and you've turned. You're fickle. Like Daniel Bryan says, you're fickle, Louis.
My tag teams, I've taken none from SmackDown.
Well, not even the Usos. Come on.
Oh yes. I'm gonna change that because I just don't see them as a tag team anymore. Because obviously Jay is doing some great single stuff. So I've got Bucks, FTR, Lucha Bros, and the Usos.
Christ.
And then women: Sasha, Bailey, Bianca, Natalia, Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker, Serena Deeb, and Hikaru Shida.
Oh, it's good. It's good, isn't it? Can I have Becky Lynch?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You're gonna lose anyway, so I'll let you have Becky Lynch.
She was on Raw before she went, so there you go. I'm having Becky Lynch. My women's division was going to win anyway, but I'm having it. God, I haven't even done the rest yet. So what have I got to do? 8 men from Raw: Drew, Randy, Adam Cole.
Sheamus, put Sheamus in
there. Let me come back to that. AJ, obviously.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, Finn Balor, actually. Finn Balor's in there. 1, 2. So I've got Drew, Randy, Adam Cole, AJ Styles, Finn Balor. I'll tell you what, it's closer than you think. You still
Let me
won.
just say, Canal 3641. I said you're the tag team partner for Asuka, and that's why you're not saying anything.
Listen, I can bump and feed, brother. Get me in there. I'll do a great comeback. I'll tell you.
I'll say it. This going to see a dog tomorrow is code for flying out to the Tropicana field.
yeah. Corporate hospitality and all that. So I feel like I should be getting more from NXT here. I don't know about Ciampa.
Gargano?
Gargano, actually. You could do a load of great matches with him. Who else we got? We got Keith Lee.
We're going Pat McAfee.
Come on now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keith Lee was my 7th. And why am I at such a loss? Oh, The Fiend. Bray Wyatt. There you go. A lot of stuff you can do with Bray. And then my tag teams, I mean, the Undisputed Era, obviously. Can I? No, I've already got Drew and Sheamus in another capacity. God, what tag teams are there anymore?
Here's some young veterans will be straight on there for me.
Yeah, they are actually. Oh, I've got to pick 4.
Yeah, you could take Fish and O'Reilly. Fish and Strong.
It's gonna be New Day and her business. That's all I got really. Undisputed, that's a good tag division. Just those 4 though. Undisputed Era, Grizzled Young Vets, New Day, and Hurt Business. Unfortunately, it's just not FDR, Young Bucks, and the fucking Usos. Jesus Christ!
You're really loving the swear today, Jesus.
I know. Go to the end of the week. Well, my women's division wins, but my men and my tag lose. So there you go. 2-1, Louis wins. Let's call that.
I love these ultra chats from Matthew.
I do like them. I make out I didn't. I would have had much more fun if you'd given me Louis' side because I'm a huge proponent of SmackDown. But there you have it. Anyway, we've got one more. Oh, bloody hell, we've got 3 more ultra chats coming in. So let's get through these. Matty says, the hot Scott. Hey, Alex, loving the hat. Thank you, brother. Hey, Louis. I'm just back from Costco. Okay. Hence why I'm so late. Just want to say thanks for a great week of Wrestling Daily. It's been fun. Look forward to SmackDown tonight. Looking forward to next week. I've got a great 4-way impression. That's what we like, Matty. You've delivered on those impressions thus far. You have not let us down. I'm looking forward to it. Louis, you need to get off the board. You need to get a win.
On that note, should we talk about the schedule for next week? Clue people in on when we're
I did talk about it yesterday, but I'm happy to revisit it again, Louis. Feel free to enlighten the people.
Yeah, so Monday, obviously, we're having a special show at 9:30 UK time for TLC after Alex's show on Talk Sport 2, Talk Wrestling. We've then got Tuesday is going to be SP3 and Alex, obviously talking about Raw, maybe with a little debate sprinkled in there. Who knows? Although it might be a reactionary Raw, so there might be a lot of news to talk about. And then Wednesday's show is going to be Alex and Steph Chase talking about the news, some hot takes, the final show before Christmas. And then we will be back, if I'm not mistaken, on the Tuesday. So Tuesday, the 29th. And then the following day on the 30th for the
mega show.
Yeah, the special end of year show. So you've got another 5 shows of the week of the year before we wrap up. But yeah, that'll be the schedule for next week and the week after, with obviously Christmas and New Year. We don't, as much as we love Wrestling Daily, and believe me, we do. The one we're not going to be doing one next Friday for Christmas Day. I can make that one very clear. But no, we'll look forward to chatting with you all for those shows that we are doing over the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely. And that moves us on to Canal 3641. Random question, but what did you prefer watching? Newcastle the last 3 seasons or Raw the last 3 years? Louis, as a Liverpool fan, you can't answer this. FYI, I'm a Man United fan, so it's not been a bed of roses for me either. I mean, I'd rather be you than me, for sure. As you can,
and you'd all rather be me.
You are right. It is. I can never know which way angle I need to go. There's the Newcastle tattoo. There's Louis' stock. See, it's not quite the same commitment, is it?
Sorry, until 2 years ago, I couldn't even get a tattoo. Come on.
Yeah, I'm your dad, and I wouldn't let you get one. No, yeah. I was actually relatively inspired by the business we did this summer. Jamal Lewis was a good addition. Callum Wilson, we got pace in the team. We got some ingenuity. It's a massive upgrade from what we've had. And we've won back-to-back games before we got crushed by Leeds. So, mid-table obscurity is a nice place for Newcastle at the moment. For me, finally, the signings... Go on, I can't actually see that.
Top of the league.
I never look that high. For me, we're actually heading in the right direction because we're making signings that actually make sense moving forward, as opposed to 40 million on Joelinton, who is terrible. And Alec St. Maximin is actually my hero. So there you go. It's not all doom and gloom. What's been worse? Probably Newcastle. And Raw at least has some bright spots. Newcastle just literally meanders.
For me, it's a question. Raw been so much worse. The last 3 years for me have been fantastic. Anfield. Love it.
God damn it. Enough. Carol Wands, here she is. Hi, Alex and Louis. I actually had withdrawal from being late today. Of course you did. Of course you did. Louis, you did really well on Quizzlemania. You almost won. Next time, I'm cheering you on. Oh, there you go, Louis. You've won a fan over. You made me a believer. I won't doubt you again. See, Alex, I'm not a heel. Have a good weekend. Elite good eggs. Carol, you are a lovely, lovely woman. A lovely part of the Wrestling Daily fabric. And Louis, how does it feel to win a fan over?
As much as I'd love to win, as I'm very happy to win Carol over, I would have rather won Quizzlemania. It was close.
But you take solace. You take solace in gaining a new fan.
Yeah, it's a consolation prize. But if I had to lose to anyone, I'm happy it's Tempest, so I can save some face. And I was winning for a pretty substantial period of the show, and then it got to a tag team round, and I was paired with Ollie and Pete, and then it all just went. Tempest has knowledge that is
insane,
freakish. So yeah, I can think of worse people to lose to.
I just want to say before we finish up, it just reminded me when I got asked a WWE / Newcastle question. Do you remember when there was rumors Vince was going to buy Newcastle? Do you remember this?
Yeah,
it was
only a year, no?
It was about 3 years ago. when I was working.
Earlier than that.
No, I think it wasn't that long ago. I was working at Gimme Sport, I'm pretty sure, at the time. And it was like Vince wants to have like a hub in the UK and he's going to buy Newcastle. I was like, my Lord, could you actually imagine?
I think you actually broke that story, just wishful thinking. It was actually a dream.
I planted it, yeah.
It was a dream you had that, like, listen, let me speak this into existence and see if it happens.
I don't know if that would be what I wished into existence. Ishan says, why did Alex ask Louis to leave the Olive Authority? I've seen you ask this already on this chat. What is this rumor, Louis? What is this? Have you made up lies?
On Quizzlemania, they asked me, are you part of the Olive Authority anymore? And I said no, because Alex hated me doing all of the gimmicks on Wrestling Daily. He said it was a proper news show, and he wasn't happy with it, which isn't untrue.
No, it is true. I didn't ask you to leave, though. I just said don't bring your goddamn storylines onto my show.
No, but I am a man that I'm 100% or I'm 0%. I'm not going to half-ass being part of the Olive Authority. So when I knew you weren't happy with it, as a loyal colleague of mine and someone I spend a lot of time with, I had to realize that it was a better decision for me to continue with Wrestling Daily as opposed to be part of the Olive Authority.
I'm not going to get Uptown Avondale up again just because I get him up like 7 times a show because his comments are so good. But he's just called SP3, Silly Putty 3. And it popped me good. It really did. We were debating what his initials meant yesterday. If you have any other ones for SP3, guys, keep them coming because I really do enjoy them. I also sent Louis SP3. So he's already sent me a Christmas gift. And, what is this running?
Oh! Do we want him?
What do you mean we? You'd already said you left.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Should we create our own faction? The Elite Good Eggs?
Yeah, I feel like we already have that faction. We're like, like Retribution when they have...
you can join that. Yeah.
When Retribution have all of those mystery members that start running around. I feel that's what we got.
So what's your Retribution name? Sean's can be Spunk. Mine can be Specs. Yours can be Scoops.
Fertile. I mean, I thought that's the road we were going down. Apparently not. Anyway, guys, I look at the time. We've gone over, Lou. That's what we've done. So thank you so much.
So Dave Meltzer was asked on Twitter, what's the difference between a 4-star match and a 5-star match? What was his answer?
Oh my God. I hoped he trolled himself and said something about the Tokyo Dome. He
just had 1 star.
I like that. I like that very much. Yeah, no, I'm into it. Dave's had a hard time lately, so I'm hoping the best for him.
Yeah,
it's not nice at this time of year, so we wish him all the best. And anyone else having a difficult time at this time of year with everything going on, we all hope you're safe and well, and you will enjoy your Christmas, which of course is next week. And so thank you so much for joining us again. Louis has already told you the schedule. You're going to see the man to my right. I hope it's on your right on screen on Monday, and then you're going to get SP3 on Tuesday and Steph on Wednesday. So please do join us next week. Thank you so much for having another week of the Wrestling Daily in your lives. Remember, do all that good stuff of subscribing, notifications on, all of that good jazz to support us. Please keep it up because we love and appreciate it so much. So once again, from myself and from the human prodigy, the kid